Dark space spread in all directions. No stars. No light. Only deep black silence. Through this silent void, a massive alien war fleet moved slowly forward. 20 giant black warships flew in perfect line. Each ship was filled with powerful weapons. Each ship was made for only one purpose: war. These aliens were known across the galaxy as the Varkeen. They were feared everywhere. They never showed mercy. They never lost a war. They burned worlds and erased entire species without regret. Inside the largest ship, the command vessel, the fleet leader stood in silence. He was tall, covered in dark armor. His cold eyes watched the glowing space map in front of him. Everything was calm. Too calm. Suddenly, warning lights flashed red across the command deck. A sharp alarm echoed through the ship. The leader turned sharply toward his crew. "Report," he ordered. A nervous officer checked the screen. "One patrol ship at the back. It has gone dark, Commander." The leader frowned. "How?" he asked. The officer looked confused. No explosion. No weapons fire. No signal. It just disappeared. The entire fleet slowed down. Other commanders began to speak at once. Did it jump to hyperspace? No energy spike was detected. There is no wreckage. Silence filled the room. Then, another ship vanished. No sound. No light. No shockwave. Just empty space where a battleship once was. Fear spread fast through the fleet. Scanners activated at full power. Energy sensors searched every direction. Then a new reading appeared. A dark moving shape between the ships. It had no heat. No engine signal. No metal scan. It was like a living shadow drifting through space. Weapons systems locked on it. "Fire!" the commander shouted. Dozens of laser beams cut through the darkness. Bright red and blue energy filled the void. But nothing was hit. The shadow moved without sound. The weapons passed through empty space. Then, a terrible metal scream echoed through the fleet. Not through speakers. Through the ships themselves. The command vessel shook hard. Crew members fell to the floor. A deep claw mark appeared on the outer hull, tearing through layers of heavy armor as if it were paper. Inside the ship, lights flickered. Emergency sirens howled. In one long hallway, a group of alien soldiers ran toward their battle stations. Their boots hit the floor in panic. The lights went out. Only red emergency lamps remained. A strange shadow moved across the wall. One soldier slowed down. He turned his head. And something unseen grabbed him. He was pulled straight into the darkness without a scream. Only his weapon fell to the floor and slid across the metal. The other soldiers froze in terror. They did not see what took him. They only knew he was gone. Back on the command deck, fear now showed on every face. The fleet leader stared at the main screen. His voice became quiet. "It's real," he whispered. "The Obsidian Phantom." The room went silent. Long ago, this story was only a myth. Old space legends spoke of a black ghost ship. A ship that did not follow the rules of space or time. A ship that did not fight battles. Haunted. They said entire war fleets vanished without a single survivor. No wreckage. No signals. Only empty space remained. The ancient name given to it was simple and feared. The Obsidian Phantom. No one knew its builder. No one knew its crew. No one knew its purpose. Many believed it was only a children's story. Until now. Another Varkeen ship disappeared. This time, the crew inside the command vessel could see it happen. 1 second the ship was there. The next second, it folded inward like it was crushed by invisible hands. Then it was gone. The fleet tried to turn back. Engines roared at maximum power. Jump drives activated. Nothing worked. The space around them twisted and locked them in place. They were trapped. The shadow returned. It moved slowly now, like it was choosing. The fleet leader felt true fear for the first time in his life. He had destroyed worlds. He had ended civilizations. Now he understood what it felt like to be hunted. Suddenly, the shadow stopped in front of the command ship. A strange black shape formed from the darkness. It was not fully visible. It looked more like the idea of a ship than a real one. The commander whispered in horror, "We should never have come here." The shadow faded. For a moment, everything was quiet again. Too quiet. The Varkeen fleet was no longer moving forward. All 20 warships floated in locked space. Their engines burned. Their jump drives screamed with power. But space itself had trapped them. Inside the command ship, the fleet leader stood still. His hands slowly closed into fists. This battle felt wrong. There was no enemy to shoot. No target to destroy. Only fear. The shadow was gone again. But everyone knew it was still there. Watching. Waiting. The commander turned to his main officer. "Open all ancient data files," he ordered. "Search every lost record. Every forgotten warning." The officer nodded and rushed to the control screen. Old star maps filled the air. Dead sectors. Lost fleets. Silent zones. One map flashed red. A zone with no return. The officer swallowed hard. "This area," he said, "has a forbidden name in old records." The commander slowly turned. "Say it." The officer spoke in a low voice. "Grave space." The room grew heavy. Long ago, before the rise of the Varkeen, many empires ruled the stars. Hundreds of races. Thousands of fleets. But some places on the maps were marked in black. Ships entered. Ships never returned. At first, it was believed to be natural disaster zones. Gravity storms. Dark energy fields. But the pattern was wrong. Only war fleets vanished. Trade ships passed safely. Explorer ships sometimes returned. But fleets built for destruction. None ever came back. The first recorded loss was an empire of fire-based beings. Their fleet of 60 warships entered grave space to claim new worlds. Not one ship returned. Then the Iron Clans went missing. Then the Crystal Dominion. Then the Void Kings. All erased. No wrecks. No messages. Only silence. The officer continued. Some survivors, very few, claimed to see a black shape before their fleets vanished. Another officer stepped forward. They said it moved without engines. Another added. They said it killed without explosions. A third whispered. They said it watched before it attacked. The commander felt cold fear crawl across his spine. "And its name?" he asked slowly. All the officers looked at each other. Then one spoke. They called it the Obsidian Phantom. The name echoed through the command deck like a curse. Just then, warning, another alarm screamed. A Varkeen cruiser on the left side of the formation began to shake. Its shields flared. Something invisible pressed against it. The ship twisted. Metal screamed. Then it folded inward and vanished. Gone. No fire. No blast. No remains. The Varkeen crews broke into panic. "They are being taken one by one. We cannot see it. Our weapons do nothing." Fear spread faster than any virus. The strongest fleet in the galaxy was helpless. The commander slammed his claws into the control panel. "Send out wide-range signals. Call every nearby empire. Anyone." Signals shot across space. But no answers returned. Then a strange thing happened. One small reply appeared. Not from an empire. Not from a fleet. A single weak signal. Unknown origin. The officer stared at the screen. This code is old," he said. "Not used by any current alien race." "Who sent it?" the commander demanded. The officer checked again. His eyes widened. "It matches lost human signal patterns." The commander stepped back in shock. "Humans are extinct," he said. "That is what the galaxy believed," the officer replied. "But this signal is real." Before they could respond, another Varkeen ship vanished. Only 15 remained. The shadow reappeared. Closer now. Larger. It moved like slow death. Then for the first time the shadow spoke. Not in sound, but directly into the mind. A deep, cold message filled every brain on the command ship. Judgment has begun. Crew members fell to their knees in terror. The commander screamed. "What do you want?" The shadow did not answer. Moved. Another ship died. 14 remained. The commander's pride shattered. He had ruled through fear his entire life. Now fear ruled him. "Open a channel to that human signal," he ordered in panic. The officer did it at once. Static filled the air. Then a calm, clear voice spoke. "Human. Cold. Controlled." "This is a protected sector," the voice said. "You ignored all warnings." The commander shouted. "That thing is killing us. Help us." The human voice answered without emotion. "The Obsidian Phantom does not kill without reason." The commander froze. "You control it?" he whispered. A short pause. Then the human replied. "No. We built it." The command deck went silent. "You created this monster?" the commander asked in horror. "It is not a monster," the voice said. "It is a guardian." Outside the shadow waited. Quiet. Patient. The commander finally asked the question that broke him. "Why is it hunting us?" The human voice answered slowly. "Because the Phantom only hunts fleets that erase innocent worlds." The commander's mind flashed with images. Burning planets. Screaming cities. Dead children. Worlds the Varkeen had turned to ash. The truth crushed him. This sector remembers everything you destroyed, the human said. And now, so does the Phantom. The shadow began to move again. 13 ships remained. The hunt was far from over. The shadow began to move again. Slow, silent, unstoppable. Outside the trapped Varkeen fleet, space itself felt heavy. The black shape drifted between the warships like a living nightmare. Inside the command ship, alarms screamed without pause. Red lights filled every hallway. The fleet commander stood frozen for 1 second. Then fear turned into rage. All ships, he roared. Full firepower. Do not stop shooting. The Varkeen fleet obeyed. Hundreds of weapons activated at once. Laser cannons. Plasma launchers. Dark energy beams. The void exploded with light. Red, blue and purple fire crossed space like storms. The shadow was fully covered in blasts. For a moment, the Varkeen believed they had destroyed it. Smoke and burning energy filled the area. We hit it, one officer shouted. But then, the shadow moved out of the fire. Untouched. Not one mark on it. Fear returned instantly. The shadow flashed forward. It appeared next to a heavy battleship. The ship's shields expanded at full power. Something invisible pressed against the shields. The shields cracked, shattered. The shadow passed through the metal hull as if it were air. Inside the battleship, the crew screamed. Lights went out. Gravity failed. Crew members floated helplessly. The walls bent inward. Then the entire ship was crushed into itself. In 1 silent second, it vanished. Gone. 12 ships remained. The fleet formation broke. Some ships tried to escape. Others tried to hide behind larger vessels. The commander shouted orders endlessly. Hold formation. Protect the command ship. Keep firing. But nothing worked. The shadow moved too fast now. It appeared behind a cruiser. The ship turned its weapons. Too slow. The shadow cut through the vessel from end to end. The ship broke into 2 silent halves. No explosion. No fire. Both pieces drifted apart, dead. 11 ships remained. The human voice returned on the open channel. Your attacks feed its rage, the voice said calmly. The commander screamed back. Then stop it. Pause. Then the human answered. It only stops when judgment is finished. The shadow suddenly disappeared. For 1 second, hope returned. Then it reappeared inside the fleet. Right in the center. It split into 3 moving black shapes. 3 phantoms. The fleet was now surrounded. Panic consumed every ship. Some Varkeen soldiers dropped their weapons. Some cried. Some froze. The shadow attacked from all sides. 2 ships vanished at once. 9 remained. The commander felt his chest tighten. This was not a battle. This was an execution. Inside one damaged cruiser, a young Varkeen officer looked at his shaking hands. This is how they felt, he whispered. Images filled his mind. Alien cities burning under Varkeen fire. Families running. Children screaming. Now he understood. The shadow tore the cruiser open. The officer was pulled into nothing. 8 ships remained. On the command ship, the human signal stayed open. The commander spoke with broken pride. Why did you build such a weapon? He asked weakly. The human voice answered. Because the galaxy was burning. The commander listened. Long ago, the voice continued, no one could stop fleet empires like yours. Worlds were destroyed every cycle. No army was strong enough. Outside, another ship vanished. 7 remained. So humanity built a watcher, the voice said. A hunter that does not sleep. A judge that never forgets. The commander whispered. You built your own god. No, the human replied. We built responsibility. The shadow struck again. 2 ships tried to escape at the same time. Both were pulled backward as if space itself grabbed them. Crush. 6 ships remained. The command ship shook violently. The shadow had reached them. Claw marks tore across the outer hull. Interior walls cracked. Crew members were thrown into the air. Gravity failed. Then returned suddenly. Bones broke. Screams filled every deck. The commander was lifted from the floor by invisible force. He gasped as air left his lungs. The shadow formed directly in front of him, inside the command deck. For the first time the phantom showed a shape. A dark ship-like outline made of pure black energy. No windows. No lights. No sound. Only cold purpose. A voice entered his mind. Not human. Not machine. Something between. You erased worlds. The commander tried to speak. You taught fear. You fed on screams. You ruled through death. Tears formed in the commander's eyes. We were strong, he whispered. You were cruel. The shadow released him. He fell hard to the floor. The shadow faded again. Outside it moved toward another ship. Only 5 remained. The commander understood something now. This was not about power. This was about balance. One brave Varkeen pilot charged at full speed toward the shadow. Weapons blazing. Engines screaming. He did not turn away. The shadow did not move. The pilot shouted a battle cry. Then his ship folded like paper. 4 remained. The human voice returned. It is almost done, it said. The commander fell to his knees. He looked at his shaking claws. For the first time in his life he felt regret. We cannot undo the past, the human said. But the phantom makes sure the future remembers. The shadow made one final strike in this wave. Another ship vanished. 3 ships remained. The fleet that once ruled terror across the stars was nearly gone. Silence returned briefly. The shadow stopped moving. It floated far from the fleet now. Watching. Waiting. As if the phantom wanted them to understand. The commander lifted his head slowly. What happens now? He whispered. The human voice answered. Now comes the truth. Only 3 Varkeen warships remained. They floated in broken formation. Weapons damaged. Shields failing. Hope almost gone. The Obsidian phantom waited at a distance. Not attacking. Not leaving. Watching. Inside the Varkeen command ship, the crew stood in silence. No one dared to speak. Fear was no longer loud. It was heavy. The fleet commander slowly stood from the floor. His armor was cracked. His pride was shattered. The human signal was still open. Cold. Quiet. Waiting. The commander looked at the glowing communication panel. You said the truth is coming, he said in a weak voice. Then speak. And this. For a moment only silence answered. Then the human voice returned. You believe humans are extinct, the voice said. That is what the galaxy wanted you to believe. The commander closed his eyes. Then where are you? He asked. The human answered. We never left. The space around the phantom began to change. Faint lights appeared in the dark. Hidden shapes formed. Slowly, very slowly, massive structures came into view. Human war stations. Dozens of them. Black. Silent. Ancient. The Varkeen scanners went wild. No way, one officer whispered. These stations were hidden in dark space this whole time. The human voice continued. This is the last human defense line, the voice said. It watches the sectors where genocidal fleets once ruled. The commander's voice shook. You survived in secret? Yes, the human replied. Because survival alone was not enough. The phantom moved slowly toward the command ship. This time it did not attack. Instead, a soft dark beam touched the Varkeen hull. A data stream entered the command deck. Screens across the ship lit up. Images began to play. The Varkeen were forced to watch. Human worlds. Green planets. Blue oceans. Cities full of life. Then, Varkeen fleets arrived. Fire fell from the sky. Cities burned. Children ran. Families screamed. The Varkeen command deck filled with the sounds of their own past crimes. One officer turned away in shame. Turn it off, he whispered. But the images continued. Human survivors hiding. Human fleets failing. Human planets dying one by one. Then a final image. A massive human arc ship escaping into deep dark space. Only one survived. The human voice spoke with quiet pain. The galaxy watched as humanity burned, the voice said. No one helped. No one spoke. No one stopped you. The commander felt sick. We believed humans were weak, he whispered. No, the human said. You believed we were finished. The images changed. The arc ship drifting in black space. Humans building in silence. New technology. New machines. Then appeared the first dark shape of the phantom. Unfinished, silent, sleeping. We did not build armies, the voice said. We built one answer. The Obsidian phantom moved closer. Now it hovered directly in front of the command ship. For the first time its shape was clear. A massive black war machine. Smooth like stone. Sharp like death. The commander stared at it in terror. You made it from hatred, he said. The human answered calmly. No. We made it from memory. The phantom's dark surface shifted. New images appeared on the screens. Human pilots connecting their minds to the machine. Their bodies aging. Their lives ending. Their minds remained. The phantom is not controlled by one AI, the human said. It is powered by the minds of every human lost to genocide. The command deck went silent in horror. They chose to stay, the voice continued, to guard the galaxy. Forever. The commander fell to his knees. This is not a ship, he whispered. It is a grave. Outside, the phantom remained still, watching. The human voice spoke again. You asked why it hunts you. Another image appeared. A small alien farm world. Peaceful. Green. Full of life. Then Varkeen ships arrived. The skies burned. The planet died. This happened last cycle, the voice said. Innocent world. No military. No threat. The commander recognized the battle. He had ordered it. Obsidian activated the moment that world died, the human said. The commander's claws shook. You are judged not for who you are, the human said. You are judged for what you chose to become. The shadow moved again. Slow. Quiet. Near. The commander looked up at the dark war machine. If we surrender, he asked weakly. If we kneel, will it stop? The human paused. No, the voice answered. The phantom is not a weapon of war. Then what is it? The commander asked. It is the end of unchecked destruction, the human replied. One of the last 3 Varkeen ships tried to run. Its engines burned with all remaining power. The phantom did not chase. Instead, space itself bent. The fleeing ship stopped. Then it collapsed inward and vanished. Only 2 remained. The commander understood the truth now. This was not revenge. This was justice. The human voice spoke again. You are allowed to live, it said. Not because you deserve it. The phantom moved closer. But because the galaxy must carry your shame. The commander lowered his head. We were monsters, he said. Yes, the human replied. And now you will remember what fear feels like. The phantom slowly drifted backward. It stopped attacking. For now. The human voice gave a final message. The judgment is not over. The signal cut. Silence returned to space. 2 broken Varkeen ships floated alone in the darkness. The phantom waited. Watching. Only 2 Varkeen ships drifted in broken silence. The once mighty war fleet was gone. No victory songs. No battle cheers. Only fear and shame. The Obsidian phantom floated far ahead of them. Silent. Still. Watching. Inside the Varkeen command ship, the commander stood at the front window. His armor was torn. His crown of power meant nothing now. The human signal returned. But this time it was not cold. It was calm. You have seen what the phantom does, the human voice said. Now you will learn what it truly is. The main screen changed. The image showed a dead human world. Broken cities. Frozen oceans. Burned skies. The commander felt his chest tighten. This was one of our first worlds to fall, the human said softly. Billions died in one day. The image moved forward. Human survivors gathered in underground shelters. Families held each other in darkness. They hid, the voice said. Not because they were weak, but because they wanted to live. The screen changed again. Human scientists worked in secret. Old ships were taken apart. Lost tech was rebuilt. They knew they could never fight you in open war, the human said. So they chose a different path. The Varkeen officers watched in silence. A large dark frame appeared on the screen. The first body of the Obsidian phantom. We built a shell, the voice said. A body strong enough to survive the dark. Then came the hardest truth. Human volunteers stepped forward. Men, women, young. They knew what they would become, the human said. They would never return as flesh. The screen showed a human pilot connecting to a dark machine. His eyes closed. His heart stopped. But his mind stayed active. The screen shifted. Another pilot joined. Then another. Hundreds over time. Thousands. They did not become crew, the voice said. They became the phantom. The commander's voice trembled. You trapped their souls? No, the human replied. They chose to stay. The human voice grew heavy. They were parents whose children died in fire. They were soldiers who watched their world fall. They were farmers whose sky turned to blood. The screen showed faces full of pain. They did not ask for revenge, the voice said. They asked to protect others from becoming like them. The phantom outside pulsed with soft dark light. For the first time it did not feel like a monster. It felt like a grave. The commander whispered. It is made of ghosts. Yes, the human replied. But also of hope. The screen now showed the phantom in motion across thousands of years. It appeared in war zones. Silent. Invisible. Fleets built for genocide vanished. Tyrant empires fell overnight. No survivors. No warnings. Planets once in chains became quiet and free. The galaxy called it a myth, the human said. But myth saved more worlds than any army ever did. The commander stepped back. We never knew, he whispered. You chose not to know, the human said. A long silence followed. Then the commander asked the question that burned his soul. Does the phantom feel pain? The human paused. Yes. The screen showed the phantom drifting through empty space. Silent. Alone. It feels every death it carries, the voice said. It remembers every face. It holds every scream. The commander looked down at his claws. Then why does it still fight? The answer came quietly. Because no one else will. Outside, the phantom slowly turned toward the last two Varkeen ships. It did not attack. It waited. The commander realized something deep and terrible. You let it suffer forever, he said. The human replied. We let it choose forever. One of the surviving Varkeen officers stepped forward. You could have ruled the galaxy with this power, he said. The human answered. That was never the goal. Then what is? The officer asked. The human voice answered. That no child ever watches the sky and waits for death. Tears formed in the commander's eyes. We became monsters without knowing, he whispered. No, the human replied. You became monsters by choice. The phantom moved closer. For the first time, it opened a visual channel. Inside the dark surface, faces appeared. Human faces. Thousands of them. Young. Broken. Strong. They looked at the Varkeen commander. Not with hate. Not with anger. With memory. One voice rose from many. We remember every world you burned. The commander fell to his knees. We were blind, he cried. We were proud. We were cruel. The many voices answered in one. And now the galaxy will see what cruelty costs. The phantom turned away slightly. The human voice returned. The phantom is not here to end your species, it said. It is here to end what you became. The commander whispered. And if we change? The human answered. Then the phantom will never return to your skies. The last two Varkeen ships remained untouched. For now. The phantom moved back into the darkness. Watching. Waiting. The human voice ended with final truth. Humanity did not survive to rule. Humanity survived to guard. The signal faded. Only the dark remained. And the guilt. Studio microphone part 5 ending line voiceover. The galaxy finally learned that the Obsidian phantom was not born from hate. It was born from the last promise of a dying species. Never again. The two remaining Varkeen warships floated silently in the dark void. Their once proud formation was gone. Weapons damaged. Engines weak. Shields almost dead. The Obsidian phantom approached. Slowly. Silent. Patient. Inside the command ship, the Varkeen commander stood trembling. His claws shook. Every decision, every war, every death he caused, was laid bare before him now. There was no defense. No escape. The phantom paused a short distance from the remaining fleet. Its black hull reflected no light, no stars, only the void. Yet the commander could feel its presence in every bone, every nerve. It was not anger he felt, it was judgment. The human voice returned on the open channel, calm but heavy. This is your last chance. The commander spoke with a broken voice. We understand. We surrender. Silence. The phantom did not move. The void itself seemed to hold its breath. You understand, the voice said, but understanding is not enough. You must carry the cost of your choices. The first Varkeen ship attempted to flee. Engines flared. Weapons activated. Shields at maximum. The phantom's form shifted. Dark energy rippled across its surface. Moved. Faster than thought. The fleeing ship shuddered violently. Engines overloaded. The hull bent inward. Metal screamed. Then it vanished. No explosion. No debris. Nothing remained. One ship left. The command ship. The Varkeen commander knelt, realizing the weight of all his crimes. The human voice spoke again. You will witness the cost. Not through death alone but through memory. You will feel every world you burned. Every scream you ignored. Every life ended. Screens lit up across the Varkeen bridge. Flashing images of every planet destroyed by the fleet. Children crying. Cities burning. Oceans boiling. Stars dying under their command. The commander covered his eyes. This is unbearable, he whispered. Yes, the human said. And it should be. The phantom moved closer. Its surface rippled. Faces of humans, the minds who had become the Phantom, appeared within the black hull. Thousands of them. All staring. All remembering. The commander fell completely to his knees. Tears streamed down his dark face. We are sorry, he choked. We never thought, we never saw, the cost. The human voice responded, gentle yet firm. Words are not enough. You must live with the memory. You must carry it to the ends of your lives. The Phantom extended a long claw-like appendage toward the command ship. It did not destroy it. It pressed gently. A pulse of energy entered the ship. Inside every crew member's mind, memories of their victims appeared. Faces, names, places, screams. Every choice replayed in vivid detail. Pain, horror, regret, consumed them fully. The commander collapsed, shaking uncontrollably. His soldiers screamed in terror, not from fire but from conscience. Every Varkeen soul on the ship experienced the judgment. Outside, the Phantom paused. It hovered silently. Then slowly, it moved backward into the dark void. The commander lifted his head. His eyes were red, his pride shattered. He whispered to himself, "We will never forget, never again." The human voice returned for the final time. The Phantom does not kill those who surrender, who learn, who change. But it will return if injustice rises again. The two remaining Varkeen ships lowered their weapons. Engines cooled. Shields dimmed. They had survived, but their fleet, and their arrogance, was gone. The Phantom drifted silently, a shadow among the stars. Not a conqueror. Not a weapon of vengeance. A guardian. A warning. The commander whispered to his crew. Tell the galaxy. Tell everyone, the humans are not weak, and their judgment is patient. For the first time, silence was not fear. It was awe. It was respect. It was the beginning of understanding. The Phantom turned once, just briefly, as if acknowledging the Varkeen commander's realization. Then it disappeared into the void, leaving behind a galaxy forever changed. Studio microphone Part 6 ending line voiceover. The Varkeen had ruled through fear for centuries. But that night, they learned that mercy is chosen and destruction is earned. The Obsidian Phantom disappeared into the void, leaving only silence. The two remaining Varkeen ships floated in broken formation, their weapons silent, their engines weak, their pride shattered. The Varkeen commander looked at the stars. The galaxy suddenly seemed larger. He realized how small, how cruel, and how blind his empire had been. Far across the galaxy, word began to spread. Not from war reports. Not from military transmissions. From those who had survived. Whispers. Stories. Legends. The Obsidian Phantom is real. Humans are not extinct. Somewhere out there they watch and judge. Planets that had lived in fear of war fleets suddenly knew hope. Worlds that had trembled before the Varkeen, the Void Kings, the Iron Clans, now understood that someone, something was protecting them. Inside the Phantom itself, thousands of human minds remained awake. Silent. Watching. Remembering. Their purpose clear. To ensure that no innocent world ever burned without consequence. Across space, fleets paused before attacking. No one wanted to test the Phantom. No one wanted to vanish without a trace. The galaxy had learned a new lesson. Strength was not enough. Fear was not enough. Justice, even quiet, unseen justice, was more powerful than the deadliest weapons. The Varkeen commander returned to his crew. He lowered his head and spoke softly. We have survived, but only to carry the memory. We must change. We must never repeat the horrors we created. The remaining Varkeen ships limped away into the dark. Each crew member silent, each one changed forever. Far away, the human signal flickered again. The voice spoke calmly, firmly. The galaxy is not ours to rule. It is ours to guard. Every fleet, every empire, every planet that heard the story trembled. Humans had not only survived, they had grown beyond war. Their legacy was not weapons or conquest. It was vigilance. It was mercy. It was the promise that no life would be taken without consequence. Some alien worlds had never seen humans. Some had never heard their name. Yet now they respected them, feared them, and hoped that when the shadows moved again, humanity would stand between them and annihilation. The Obsidian Phantom drifted silently between the stars. Not a conqueror. Not a ruler. Not a killer. A sentinel. The last judge of the galaxy. The Varkeen fleets learned what fear truly was. Not the fear of death. Not the fear of war. The fear of being judged. And being remembered. A young Varkeen soldier looked at his commander. Will it return? He asked softly. The commander, now humbled, whispered, Yes. and it will not spare those who continue the old ways. Across the galaxy, signals, rumors, and legends spread. Fleets paused before attack. Empires reconsidered invasions. Planets no longer submitted blindly to tyranny. Somewhere in deep space, the Phantom drifted quietly, its thousands of human souls aware of every action, every injustice, every war. Its mission was simple: watch, protect, judge, and remind the galaxy that no cruelty goes unseen. The human voice returned one last time. Mercy is chosen. Destruction is earned. Remember this. Stars shone differently now. The galaxy felt smaller, yet safer. The unseen guardians of humanity had returned, and for the first time everyone understood. The humans who had been thought extinct were watching, and the Obsidian Phantom would never forget.